You've been benching for years, adding plates, grinding out reps, but your chest still looks flat and undefined. You're making fundamental mistakes in exercise selection, form, and programming that keep your chest underdeveloped despite all that effort. I'm going to show you exactly what's wrong and how to fix it. Your chest isn't one muscle. It's actually two distinct regions that require completely different angles to grow. The clavicular head makes up the upper portion, while the sternocostal head comprises the larger lower section. Most people spend years hammering flat bench press thinking they're hitting everything, but they're missing half the equation. This is why you see underdeveloped upper chests that look like the pecs just disappear at the collarbone. Incline pressing increases activation of the upper chest, while flat and decline movements target the sternal fibers more effectively. You've been training like your chest is one big slab of meat when it's actually a complex system that responds to specific movement patterns. The anatomy gets more specific. Depending on the angle at which you bring your arm forward, different muscle fibers activate more or less. Incline pressing targets the upper fibers, decline pressing targets the lower fibers, and flat pressing hits the whole muscle more evenly. But here's the problem. Most people's chest routines are dominated by flat bench variations. Flat barbell, flat dumbbell, flat machine press, all hitting the same fibers over and over while the upper chest sits completely unstimulated. If you only flat bench, you'll develop a bottom-heavy, undertrained-looking chest. Your muscle fibers run in different directions, they insert at different points, and they require different movement patterns to grow. Treat them like separate muscles, because functionally they are. You could bench 300 pounds and still have a flat, underwhelming chest if you're not hitting the right angles. The problem is exercise selection. Most chest routines are dominated by flat barbell bench, flat dumbbell press, and push-ups, essentially the same movement pattern, repeated 3 different ways while completely ignoring the upper chest fibers that create that full, rounded look. Your upper chest requires a completely different stimulus. Those clavicular fibers only get properly activated when you're pressing at an incline angle. Somewhere between 30 and 45 degrees works best. The issue, people who can bench their body weight often have zero upper chest development because they've never consistently trained incline movements. This creates that bottom-heavy chest look where your pecs seem to vanish at the collarbone. Your shirts hang weird, your physique looks unbalanced, and despite all that bench pressing strength, your chest doesn't actually look impressive. The fix requires prioritizing incline work over flat bench. Put incline barbell or dumbbell press first in your workout when your energy is highest. Hit it with the same intensity you've been giving flat bench. Your upper chest responds to specific angles. Train them separately and watch how quickly that development fills out. Most people have been training half a chest for years without realizing it. Time to train the whole thing. So, you've been ignoring the 30-degree incline sweet spot that actually targets your upper chest without letting your shoulders take over. Are you ready to finally prioritize incline work over flat bench? Comment your answer below. Now let's fix the form mistakes that are sabotaging your progress. Even if you're hitting the right angles, your chest still won't grow if you can't actually feel it working. Most people are bench pressing with their shoulders and triceps doing all the work while their chest sits there completely passive. You're moving weight, but you're not training the muscle. This is the mind-muscle connection problem that kills chest development. Your pecs should be burning and pumping during every rep, but instead you feel it in your front delts, or your triceps get tired first. That's not chest training. That's just moving a barbell around while your chest tags along for the ride. The fix starts with your grip and elbow position. Most people grip too narrow and let their elbows flare out wide, which turns every chest exercise into a shoulder-dominant movement. Your grip should be wider than shoulder width, and your elbows need to stay at about a 45-degree angle from your torso, not tucked tight like a powerlifter, not flared out like you're doing jumping jacks. Before you add any weight, practice the squeeze. At the top of every rep, actively contract your pecs like you're trying to crush something between them. Hold that squeeze for a full second. Your chest should feel like it's cramping up. That's the sensation you've been missing. Start every chest workout with light weight and perfect form until you can feel your pecs doing the work on every single rep. Only then should you start loading plates. Your pecs aren't engaged if you're ego lifting your way to an underdeveloped chest. Your training frequency and volume are completely backwards. You're probably hitting chest once per week with a massive 15 to 20 set session that leaves you destroyed. Thinking more pain equals more growth. That's the opposite of how your muscles actually work. Muscle protein synthesis stays elevated generally no longer than 48 hours after training, and in most cases returns to baseline level at approximately 36 hours. If you train chest on Monday, your chest is actively growing Monday through Wednesday, but from Thursday through Sunday, your chest growth has stopped. You're literally wasting 4 days per week where your chest could be growing but isn't. Research shows muscle growth peaks around 10 to 20 weekly sets for most muscle groups, but training a muscle group 2 to 3 times per week with moderate volume produces greater weekly protein synthesis and more optimal gains. The solution is frequency over volume per session. Research shows going from once to twice weekly training nearly doubles muscle growth in some studies, while going from twice to 3 times weekly only adds a modest extra benefit. Instead of 18 sets on Monday, do 6 sets Monday, 6 sets Wednesday, 6 sets Friday. Same total volume, but now your chest is getting growth stimulus 3 times per week instead of once. You're fresh for every session, your form stays tight, and you're actually hitting the muscle when it's ready to grow again. Restructure your exercise selection first. Put incline barbell press first in your workout when your energy is highest. Your opening movement should target the upper chest fibers that have been neglected for years. Follow that with flat dumbbell press for the middle chest, then finish with decline dumbbell press or weighted dips for the lower portion. You're training 3 distinct muscle regions, not one generic chest. Master the mind-muscle connection before adding weight. Second, start every chest session with light weight and perfect form until you feel your pecs burning on every rep. Your grips should be wider than shoulder width, elbows at 45 degrees, and actively squeeze your chest at the top of every movement. If your shoulders or triceps get tired first, drop the weight and focus on feeling your chest do the work. Train chest 3 times per week instead of once. Third, split your weekly volume across Monday, Wednesday, and Friday sessions. 6 to 8 sets per session instead of 18 sets in one brutal workout. Training chest 3 times weekly works well if you keep each session relatively short and manage your total weekly volume, with a typical approach being 4 to 6 sets per session for 12 to 18 total weekly sets. Progressive overload every single week. Fourth, add 2.5 to 5 pounds when you can complete all sets within your rep range, or add 1 extra rep to each set until you hit the top of your range. Your chest responds to consistent progression, not random weight jumps. Let's break down exactly how this looks in practice. Here's a complete weekly chest routine that fixes all the problems we've covered. Monday, upper chest focus. Incline, barbell press, 4 sets of 6 to 8 reps. Flat dumbbell press, 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Incline dumbbell flies, 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. Wednesday, full chest development. Incline dumbbell press, 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Flat barbell press, 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. Weighted dips, 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. Friday, lower chest. Emphasis, decline dumbbell press, 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Flat dumbbell press, 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Cable crossovers, low to high, 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. Notice how incline movements appear in every session, but we're rotating the primary focus. Each workout hits 10 sets total. Manageable volume that lets you maintain perfect form and actually feel your chest working. Rest 48 to 72 hours between sessions to let that protein synthesis cycle complete. Then hit it again when your muscle is ready to grow. The timeline for implementing this system requires patience, but delivers results faster than your current approach. Week 1 to 2. Focus entirely on form and mind muscle connection with lighter weights. Your ego will hate this, but your chest will finally start working. Week 3 to 4. Begin progressive overload while maintaining perfect form. Add weight only when you can complete all reps with your chest doing the work. Week 5 to 8. Continue consistent progression while your chest fills out from the increased frequency and proper angles. Visible changes arrive in 4 to 8 weeks if you follow this system exactly. No more flat, undefined chest that disappears at the collarbone. Time to build the complete chest you've been chasing for years. Subscribe for more no BS training fixes